I'm not talking the amateurs. Not about that life. If you're going to talk to me about COVID conspiracies and don't know about the water turning the frogs gay, don't even.
You better come correct. Exactly.
Yo! What up? Welcome to the Tier Above Podcast.
Why are we starting on this?
Let's see what's on tap this week. Let's go!
Let's go. 2-person episode. Lioneagle fucking
2-person
died.
episode.
L plus ratio.
Oops, I was on the wrong screen.
I was like, why the fuck are we starting on the screen share? God damn it, I hate this man.
Lana will edit it, don't worry.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he'll do the zoom ins to start.
That's why he's not here. We've locked him in the editor dungeon and he's just editing. And he doesn't even have time to do the podcast.
Yeah. He's been too slow churning out the content, so we're like, alright, boy.
Yeah.
You don't get any freedom anymore.
Weirdly, the dungeon's in a different country as well, which is crazy. He sent us a bunch of pictures of where he's staying. Wow.
Yeah, do we want to pull up the dungeon? Honestly, it doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, I'll pull it up one sec. Let me see if I can get some of the pictures.
I don't want to drop me in the fucking dungeon.
Yeah, we are doxing Lioneagle technically, but hey, fuck it. He won't be there by the time this comes out, probably, right?
Right. Surely.
Copium. I only want to show one picture in particular.
Is it the shower?
It's the shower. I love it.
You're nothing if not predictable, Curly.
Yeah, I hate it and love it all at the same time. Look at this rock shower. Damn.
It rocks.
It rocks. Is it supposed to be like one of those Japanese baths? Is that what they were going for? Or what do you think?
I genuinely don't know what purpose the big rock in the fucking bottom serves.
Exfoliate your feet? Question mark? Like that's
yeah,
what
like why have like a little pumice stone when you can just like rub your whole body against it?
Yeah, like
a slug.
Like the water's running, you just see Lioneagle curled up in a ball, like scratching his back up against the rug. Like it looks like there's enough to like get like a little tiny soak on, but not enough to like sit in it. No, you have those like the onsens or whatever in Japan where they have like the like dip pools or whatever. It looks like mom's first attempt or like baby's first attempt at one.
Baby's first onsen.
Baby's first onsen. I actually don't even want to pull up any other pictures. I spent a lot of time looking at this. What confused me more, on the right, I'm going to zoom in on it. Is that loose fucking wiring? Because it looks like loose wiring.
Right.
It's for the extra shock tingle whenever you get that, have that little baby dip.
Well, that's the heating element to make sure that it stays nice and toasty.
Oh, yeah, of course. Silly me. But yeah, Lioneagle's actually in a nice little vacation away with his family partner, I think. I care, but I cannot remember. And yeah, it looks really nice. I'm not going to show any more pictures than that because, because unless you Google this picture and somehow find this place,
it would be insane if we could reverse image search and find the exact location of his Airbnb.
Yeah. The only other thing is nice. Like the outside
his dungeon.
Nice. His dungeon, yeah. This is this view from outside. He's not allowed out there. We don't let him, but this is what he could be at.
Yeah. We got to give him a little glimpse of hope through the window. Let him know what he's working for.
Yeah, working for his freedom. I heard that. Oh, sorry. I just realized that's also a saying that already exists, and I'll not talk about it. We're not allowed to talk about it. Do you not know? Arbeit macht frei?
I do not.
Okay, we will not talk about it. You can look it up in your own time.
Oh boy.
But yeah, that's not what we're doing in Lioneagle. He can leave. Allegedly. See, he's actually looking it up, and you're gonna go,
you know what? I'm looking up to see if I can find where his Airbnb's at.
Oh, it's Airbnb? Oh.
Yeah. I'm dropping the shower pic in Google Images. And
imagine. I really hope someone has went like, yo, what the fuck is this shower? And posted like a review. Okay, well, while Z does that, one of the first things I want to talk about, because we're on such a happy note, Lioneagle in a dungeon, editing away, making sure this podcast goes out. One other really cringe thing that's happened recently is the Women's World Cup.
Yeah, women playing sports, cringe, am I right?
But Spain beat England in the final. One good thing that did come out of it, before we go into the really cringe thing, is they don't sell replica jerseys of the women kit, because I'm assuming it doesn't make enough money, but Nike has has provided them because of England's success, and you'll be able to buy a goalkeeper's women's jersey. I think that's the problem was you couldn't buy the goalkeeper's one, and from that they're doing replica jerseys of the English goalkeeper because she was goated. She was so good, it was crazy. Also in that World Cup, I think the first player to wear a hijab, isn't that what it's called? The head piece. One of the first players to ever do that was there. That was really cool. And they added it to FIFA, which is even cooler.
That's kind of base, actually.
Yeah, but one of the more cringe things that happened was oh, that's the wrong picture. The Spanish FA, the guys in charge of the Women's Association, plonked one of those bad boy kisses right on, I don't know the woman's name, I'll be fair, right on her fucking lips. Yeah, I don't know her name, but I should. He is researching.
Right, we're gonna fucking bring you fucking accurate news if we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, if we're gonna talk about it. By the way, the president of the
Jenny Hermoso.
There we go. He plonked a big unconsensual sloppy one right on her face, and you know what? Unbelievably cringe. You don't see that in the men's game. You don't see it in literally. Well, sometimes you do, but most of the time you don't. Especially not from someone who's like in charge of the whole association. Feels that it's somehow appropriate to come down and go on everyone. There was also a shot of him celebrating in the crowd by grabbing his crotch.
Yeah,
which
dude is definitely a weirdo. And then he tried to defend himself. He was like, "Oh, in Spain we like kiss each other like that all the time." To which she replied, "Hey, that still made me uncomfortable." To which he replied, "It was like fucking L plus ratio. Get over it, bozos." More or less.
And the real cringe thing about this is he's pretty much been like told to resign, right? And he's just went, no. How about no? Which is weird considering, like, don't get me wrong, he probably had some input in terms of the infrastructure of how stuff's done, but he ain't fucking scoring the goals. He ain't managing the team. He thinks he's more important than he is. And the players have already said they're not going to play for Spain ever again if he stays in the job. And the coaches, I'm fairly sure, have already left.
Yeah.
So right now he has nothing to do except find, a bunch of people that somehow want to work underneath him. Which is going to be very difficult for him. And I think it's cringe. I just think it's worth bringing up that this fucking baldy... It's always bald people. Always bald people.
Fucking hate bald people. Goddamn.
I'm gonna hate those bald
Especially freshly shaved, delayed the podcast a little bit so they could get a nice little fucking gleam going.
I didn't know we had a podcast. That's crazy. But yeah, I just thought it was worth talking about because, like, it's crazy to me that as a grown-ass man, he thinks it's okay to do that. Like, I'm fairly sure he's in his, if I remember correctly, like, he's in his late 50s or in his 50s. Like, my brother... Like, you've lived long enough to know that that's just not okay to do. And even if you're older than that, come on. Get over yourself, man. Get over yourself.
Yeah. TLDR, consent Pog. He's 46.
He's 46? Well,
yeah.
Fuck you. You're 46. You should know even better. The fact.
Yeah. Yeah, like, because when people get older, their mind starts to slip a little. You forget about consent sometimes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, ooh, those old people. Am I right?
That was satire. It's not okay even for old people.
What? I thought that was the rule. I thought if you were over the age of 90, you're allowed to be racist. Isn't that also the rule?
Listen, I'm just out here trying to not get canceled. Okay.
But yeah, I thought it was worth talking about because I feel like he's getting a lot of hate, but I feel like he just needs more hate to the point where he just... I don't want to encourage bullying, but in this situation... I would.
But if y'all wanted to tweet, like, fuck Louis Rubiales or some shit like that, then that'd be fine.
Yeah. I might even do it on the LSF account after this podcast.
You mean the Tier Above account?
Tier Above account, because it's been changed now. Yep, Tier Above. Yep. What's LSF? Cringe. Haven't even heard of them.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I fucking typed in X to my fucking search bar and Twitter didn't come up.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't surprise me. What did come up?
Don't worry about it. Join the Patreon if you want to find out.
Oh
What came
yeah, the
out?
Patreon that we have. Yeah. In terms of cringiness, there are some other cringer people of power that have existed recently as well. Are
We're
you
eating
aware of
good
any?
today, boys.
Are you aware of any? See, any other
Yeah,
cringers?
fucking Mr. 46, 45. I don't know, fucking the dipshit himself, Donnie Trump, had to turn himself in
DJ
and got a
Trump.
mugshot.
It's Donald J. Trump, isn't it?
It is DJ Trump.
Holy shit, let's go. So Trump turned himself in for being a little cringer. That's the official. That's what it said on the police statement. Little
Yeah, he
cringer
fucking,
coming in to report.
because he like pulled up to the fucking courthouse, got his mugshot, got booked for 13 felonies, and then fucking paid his bail and left in like the course of 20 minutes, which normally takes like a normal person like 12 hours.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Almost
Yeah.
like someone important, inverted commas, just gets to do whatever the fuck they want. Isn't that crazy?
Mm.
Even when they commit crimes. Like, I think, know that meme where the guy's like doing like the peace out thing and then he fades away? That was basically Trump. He goes to the courthouse, fucking pieces out about 2 minutes later.
Mm.
But I'm going to put up a beautiful picture of his. Nope, that's after. This fucking.
The other one?
No, we'll see that in a second.
Oh wait, oh yeah, okay, I know.
Yeah. This mugshot. Look at that fucking face. Like that's a hey, vote for this guy.
Yeah. If I heard someone say, he was like, you could either like go in and like be like Frank Sinatra and just be like fucking cool, I'm unfazed, you know, just like that type of mugshot, or you can do like the fucking like I'm gonna come for you if you try and fucking like book me type mugshot.
Yeah.
And he tried to go for the second one and just did not succeed.
Yeah, Stan was talking about this as well, and I literally was like, it's like he's literally prison at 8, president at 9, or some shit sort of attire right now. Just that full get up. Then then he sort of made this hypothetical. It's like there should 100% be a TV show where Trump goes to jail, but is still president and has to do his president stuff from jail. I think that would be fire. Like basically, it's like Arrested Development, but like president style. You'd also be able to meet up. Go ahead.
Voice. I've sent you a lovely.
Oh, let me look. Lovely little juicer. Yeah, I think if he had like he could meet up with all. Who's this?
Connell?
Is that Connell?
Yes.
I honestly thought it was like a face morph of Trump and like Bieber or some shit, like OG Bieber.
Connell tweeted out, "Stop sending me this. It doesn't look like me."
But what is it? What is it he's actually getting done for? I'm semi-aware. I tend not to keep up on my Trump news unless it's really funny, and this isn't as funny.
Right. He's been indicted on a lot, right? Like, election tampering, inciting a riot, things like that. Those are like the big national ones. But Georgia specifically was like, this motherfucker mishandled hell of funds, and his whole team mishandled hell of funds. So they're like booking everyone on like financial crimes, basically, instead of like the big overarching ruining the country shit, because this stuff is like more likely to actually stick.
Okay. So did his whole squad have to get their mugshots too?
Yeah. They if I had a Trump.
Like did they all show up at once? Because imagine that fucking posse all running up like sunglasses on and shit to the courthouse to get their mugshots.
You think it would be like a fucking like safety issue, like having them all together?
Did they actually all go together?
I don't know, but
I would assume they didn't, because what you said, a safety, it would probably be a safety issue if.
Right, here's the whole squad.
Someone goes a little bit mad. Are you posting it? Okay, yeah. Let me. Oh my god, look at this. The squad rolls up. There's definitely a different kind of. That guy a vicar? He's got the little thing on.
Yeah, like a priest thing.
Okay, this is like. This could be a game of guess. Oh my god, we had to play Guess Who with these people. Does yours look like he's going to? Does yours have fake tan on?
Is yours a vicar? I watched a really interesting TikTok actually about this that I would like to basically regurgitate and less eloquently than this man did. So are you familiar with the painting American Gothic
No.
by Grant Wood.
No.
Boom. There he is.
Oh my god. What is this? Just a picture or a TikTok? Or like, wait, are you just sending me this picture?
Yes, I'm just sending you the picture.
I
So
feel like
this
I've
is
seen this. I didn't know that's what it was called though.
yes. So this is American Gothic by Grant Wood. And basically, what had happened, like in developing America, like as cities were like becoming more of a thing and like becoming like more of like a cultural hub, there was like this really strong division between like the rural America and suburban America, or like urban America, if you will.
Yeah.
And in the midst of that, like they were like releasing like art and like fucking songs, like basically just like dropping diss track after diss track on each other. And there was like this like big rising tension. And then this man Grant Wood releases this lovely, beautiful painting. And it literally like split America in two because both of them thought that it was a diss track for the other side. The like urbanites were like, yeah, this is like showing like how fucking like dumb and miserable it is to like be rural. And then all the rural people were like, no, this shows like how like cool and hardworking it is to be like in like rural society.
Okay.
It's like both of them thought that the artist was like taking a stand for them. And like dunking on the other side. Yes. And then literally the fucking madman would like go to a fucking press junket like in a fucking like suit and talk about like how like this like we need cities and like how like everything like ever good
City's
that's happened
bog.
has come from a city. And then literally the next day would go to like another one dressed in overalls talking about
Love
all
that.
the good ideas I've had have come from another cow. So it's like he literally just was like fucking instigating the drama because he's like a fucking like giga chad. And the Trump mugshot is like literally the same thing where you have like fucking libs posting on shirts like, oh, look at this fucking idiot, like can't believe that Republicans are like looking up to this guy. And then Republicans get to post the mugshot and post it on shirts like, oh look, we've been right all along, there's this big psyop happening, like free Trump, this is like a proof that like the deep state is like after us. And so it's like literally history repeating itself, and I think it's really fucking cool.
Yeah, that's actually kind of based. That's fair.
Yeah.
Because like I look at that picture and Trump looks like he's gonna murder someone. Like that's the impression I get from it. But he also looks stupid as hell because he just looks stupid as hell. So I can see the two sides of it. I also do want to point out these two people on the left. Fucking sort out your cameras and your lighting.
Yeah, why is this shit so overexposed?
Christ. She looks like she wasn't even in that picture. That's a ghost. That was a blank picture, and she just fucking showed up. And he's loving life. Jake, they're married. Like they look like are their brother and sister or something. Like they feel like they belong together if they're not. He's loving life. I do like she's loving life. She's like, I'm not really sure. He's like, oh shit, I'm gonna lose my job. He's like, I've got about 2 minutes left to live. Get this done. The woman at the bottom right, oh my lord. That's like, when you see those pictures, watch those documentaries and they're like, this was their high school photo. You could always tell they were a bit weird or some shit. Like, this is what the bottom right image just gives. Like, I don't know, like, she's trying to, like, look down the camera, but she does look like she's from a horror movie.
Oh, she has fucking, like, horse girl energy for sure.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Horse girl energy. I get what I want.
And then we got fucking Rudy Giuliani in the bottom right second row.
This guy? The old guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I say I got about 2 minutes left to live. Hurry up and get this photo done.
Yeah, honestly. Fucking... It's very nice to just see all the mugshots and be like, yes. Hopefully, maybe something will happen, but fucking God only knows.
If anything, if this is Trump's team, he has a very diverse age group and looks like background of person. I will give him props for that. Oh, I do like this guy, second row, fourth or second from the right. It's a vicar. He's wearing like a fucking little collar bobber, right? Or he's just got a fucking vibe like that. Or it was like Halloween and he had to show up for his picture and was like, fuck it, two birds, one stone.
Imagine fucking showing up as fucking like, it's like, oh, Halloween, gotta go get my mugshot real quick. Man, actually, that would be so sick, getting your fucking mugshot in a Halloween costume. Yeah. I want to get arrested on Halloween now.
Yeah, sure. Why not? If you're gonna do it, probably the best time to do it.
Right. So when I got arrested, it was 2 weeks after Halloween. It was like November 15th or some shit like that.
Weirdly, you were still in your Halloween costume, which made it even weirder. One other thing Trump did was they obviously, whenever they bring you in, they have to like get your weight and your height.
Sure.
So he self-declared his weight as 215 pounds, and he's 6'2".
Mm.
So here's a picture of him next to Lamar Jackson, NFL quarterback.
Baltimore Ravens quarterback, yeah.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson.
These people are the same height and weight, according to Trump.
Yeah. Trying to claim he's only 215 is insane. Back when I was in like my fucking COVID weight, I was at like 220, and fucking Trump has always been bigger than me. So like, what the fuck?
I think what happened was Trump weighed himself when he was 18 and went, "Yep, that is the weight I will be for the rest of my life." I don't know. Like, hey, maybe he just wears a fat suit to give the impression of the everyman, you know, and he's actually ripped as fuck into there. He just doesn't want to make everyone jealous.
Right?
So
true.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. I'd like to see him
nerfing himself.
He'd
be too powerful.
Way too powerful. I'd actually be scared. He'd probably 1v1 every other president all at once because he's just built like that. Built diff. Also, a lot of them are dead, so that helps.
Yeah, fucking who? What are the presidents that are alive? We got Barry
Barack.
and Biden, obviously, right? We've got Bill Clinton still alive. George Bush is still alive.
That's where my presidential knowledge ends.
Currently,
this is where you're about to Google it, and Bill Clinton's just died.
That would be insane. Only 5 presidents are still alive. Yeah, so I named them all. Boom, boom.
Named them all. Yeah. Who was before that? Just for my own reference.
Jimmy Carter, I believe, was the last one to go.
Fair. When was that? Time wise?
Not super long ago.
You thought? No, before that.
He died.
Not even dead. When
is Jimmy Carter still alive?
I didn't even know who he was until right now.
Jimmy Carter might still be alive.
Surely Nixon's still alive, right? Because he's in Futurama.
Of course.
That's how that works. They're all little heads under the White House.
Yeah. All right. Apparently, Jimmy Carter is still alive.
Okay, so there's 6 then.
Yeah, counting Biden 6, because this is only counting former presidents. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well, eventually, not Joe. Is Joe Biden running again? Is that the correct? Is he panning?
Unfortunately.
Oh yoy.
Because I don't like in like other countries, it's like not crazy for like the PM to like not run again for their party, but it is like unheard of for like if he's the incumbent to like not have him just run again. Like it's crazy for us to put up like a different Democratic candidate.
What age? He must be in his late 70s, 80s. No,
he is early 80s, I believe. Yeah, fucking last year or like last presidency. He is apparently flat 80 right now. Coming up on the 20th, or November 20th, he'll be 81. But
genuine question.
Yes.
Dementia is common in older folk, right?
Yes.
What happens if he dead ass gets dementia?
Listen.
He might already have it.
Yeah. The sleepy Joe Biden memes don't exist for no reason. Yeah. So like 4 years ago, when we had Biden versus Trump, they were the oldest 2 people to ever run for president. And 4 years later, we're going to have the same 2 old motherfuckers, even older. And we're just like, God damn it. I hate this country.
Yep. Pog.
Give me a fucking Kennedy again. Give me a dude who's like fucking 36, slinging dick, fucking movie stars. Yeah, that's who he is the president right now.
Why did he have to get killed? He was actually living his best life.
Well, you see, he liked black people. And so they had to...
Oh, you know what? Fair enough. All I know about JFK, like literally my knowledge of JFK is just top shagger and dead. You know what I mean? Marilyn Monroe, top shagger, assassinated. Nobody knows how. COVID? No.
I mean, we know exactly how. It's fucking...
a bullet. Yeah, a bullet went through his head. But
no, like... It's like one of the most like well-documented things ever is the JFK assassination.
Yeah, I've watched things about it, and most of the things are like, we don't really know. This is what we think. Mainly because it's conspiracy theorists being like, they planted this guy there because they actually wanted him dead, and it was the government, whatever the word is, ploy.
It's a psyop.
Yeah, of course. Because he was doing too well. The president can't be liked that much. Was he liked? I assumed he was liked.
Who, JFK? Yeah. You know, by the not racists, he was liked.
So he was liked by the people that mattered.
Kinda, yeah.
Not crazy? Okay. When was it? Who was... I'm actually just starting to think about every president. Like the one that honestly just sticks so vividly in my mind is Nixon, only because of Futurama. And I don't know any other president around that time, unless their faces were carved into a big fucking mountain. I don't really know them, or they're still alive, except Jimmy Carter, I guess.
Right. Presidents in order. Let's go back.
Who was the poggest president? Like who? Like, is there someone that everyone's like pog? We loved him.
Abe Lincoln is kind of like, I guess. Yeah, one of like the undisputed. You can't talk shit.
Goats. Yeah. One of the goats of the presidential era.
Yeah, it's like him and George Washington are like the two that like no one really talks bad about.
Yeah, it's because they weren't alive then. Or I reckon if you knew them, you'd be like, maybe not that good.
Right. What is it? FDR. He's also another one that like people. Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Okay. Yeah, I'm aware of the name.
Yeah, because he's the one who like got us out of the Depression and like fucking got us through the first World War.
A war of some sort.
Yeah, and just like America was busting and booming.
Yeah, I feel like if America won't allow this because it's America, but if you do like the whole dissecting of them like properly, you'll realize that they probably weren't the best people. Kind of like Winston Churchill, for example. Like Winston Churchill is revered as like, the GOAT because of World War II. But when you actually look up Winston Churchill, he was a horrible person. He was really not nice.
Yeah.
And you're like, like there's a few prime ministers off the top of my head that people like despise. And one of them is Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah. I love seeing like pissing on Margaret Thatcher grave memes.
One of my favorite things when she died, like Ding Dong, the witch is dead. Was it from Wizard of Oz?
Yes. Ding Dong, the bitch is dead.
No, that song topped the charts.
Oh, Lamau.
In the UK for the week she died. People bought it so that it would fucking go to the top of the charts in the week she died.
That's
pettiness at its finest. I'm trying to think. The other one that sticks in my mind is David Cameron. Just because he was, I guess he was just prime minister at a bad time. That didn't really help. And everyone went, it's your fault. He's like, brother, it's a global recession. What do you want me to do about it?
Yeah.
Like, fix it. Print more money. Like, I remember like the whole concept of like, printing more money. Like, people think it's really simple. Like, more money means better, but like obviously it doesn't. Like, if you use your brain for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's not how that works. But I'm fairly sure Japan were the first country to like do it. Like, the concept, it came from them. Because they were so like, because they were so closed off as a country that like people could actually hoard money and there was nowhere else for the money to go if they didn't spend it. That they literally had a limited supply of money. So they went.
Is that why the conversion rate is so crazy over there? Like 1,000 yen is like $2.
I don't know if that's necessarily the reason, but if I remember my A-level economics enough, it was the Japanese that like were one of the first to like it be popularized as a concept because they didn't export and didn't do any of that shit until a lot later. I think it's funny. I think it's funny that they went
146 yen is $1.
Yeah. I watch a lot of Japanese content because weeb, and whenever you like see them buy things, they're like, it was 2,500 yen. I'm like, huh? How much? Right. And then you convert it and you're like, okay, divide by 10. Okay, that's how much it actually is.
Yeah.
Or by 100 even, or whatever it is. You're like, okay, yep. That's actually not that much. I think I was watching OTV, did like a Japanese like video or whatever, because they were there. And they were like, oh, we went into whatever shop to buy this stuff and it was this much. And I was like, they spent 25k on that? And I was like, wait, no, that's not 25k. Either way, it's still reasonably expensive place if you're gonna, live there. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
So Japan invented inflation porn. That's what we learned today.
So true. If you want to learn more, just Google Japanese inflation.
Yeah. What's the one that people get? Is it Sonic inflation? Is that the one that people normally look up?
Yeah. So it's the bit is that like because they like have like the car hops and they have like the little like change things. In the change shortage, Sonic just started like minting their own coins, which like caused like inflation to like go crazy. And if you want to learn more about that, you can go ahead and Google Sonic inflation. Because
Do it.
Sonic is a diner here in America. It's like a drive-through diner type beat.
Okay.
Yeah,
That makes more sense than just being like, yo, Sonic all bubbly though.
yeah,
Big bubble Sonic. Uh, One thing I want to talk about, because I was briefly talking about conspiracy theories with the whole JFK thing. So
sure.
I did what I normally don't do. I went for a
What did you
walk.
do?
Yep. I went outside, went for a walk, walked my
Cats.
dog, and it was 2 in the morning because I'd finished work for 2 hours, ate my dinner. I went, you know what? Let's go for a walk. So I go outside. I'm literally about 10 steps up my street, and I see these two people outside on the street, like doing something. And I had my headphones in, and I went, fuck it, I'm just gonna walk past them. And then I came back about 20 minutes later, and they were still there. And I was like, right, I guess I'll see what they're doing and make sure that they're not like locked out of their house or something. And I was like, the guy came over, was like, oh mate, do you know whose car that is? Someone had left their headlights on, and they were trying to wake whoever it was up at 2 in the morning to turn their headlights back, turn the headlights off, so their car battery didn't die.
Sure.
And I was like, no, I really don't. I live here, but I know my neighbor, and that's about it. I know one of my neighbors, and that's about it. And he was like, "All right, yeah," and he's a nice guy, but he's as Belfast as they come. Like, my accent is not strong. His accent was like, "Hi mate, like, we're just trying to find out whose car it is. No, like, we don't even know whose car it is."
I will say,
And I'm like,
peeling back
"Yeah."
the curtain. Yesterday, we tried to record, for a little bit. Before I was like, "Hey, just kidding. I don't have time to record." Your brother came in and was talking, and I was like, "Damn, his accent is way thicker than yours."
Yeah. Even though he learned from the same person how to speak, mine's just maybe I've just Americanized mine from talking
Yeah,
to
so you do work
Americans
for
a
an
lot.
American company, so yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this guy was like, oh, I like here, whatever. And he just starts talking to me. And he goes, oh, so what do you live here? And I'm like, yeah. And they're rapping on the wrong house. The person wakes up and's like, not mine, it's his. Rap on him. The guy comes outside like half dressed, pissed off as fuck. They're like, sorry mate, didn't mean to wake you. And he's like, oh, right. Oh, and goes back to bed. And they come over and talk to me for an hour outside at 2 in the morning in our street. Um, he's like, oh, like, what do you do for work? And I'm like, oh, explain to him what I do. And he's like, is that like coding? I'm like, no, it's not like coding. I'm not that smart. And he's like, I know, but you must know some stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I do. It's like really specific to my job. And he's like, I, I think you'll like this. And I'm like, okay, you tell me. He's like, I've got this business idea. And I'm like, okay, business idea, hit me. He's like, so you know microchips? I'm like, yeah, they put in animals. What if they didn't have them in the animal, but they had them in the collar, so you could track them
And the what?
in your collar, like a dog
Oh,
collar?
okay. Sure.
And I was like, okay. And he's like, because we found a wee dog the other day, and we didn't know who it belonged to, and then we brought it to the vet, but then they couldn't scan the chip because you need a code. And I'm like, makes no sense. He's like, I know it don't make no sense. I'm like, yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. And he's like, but what if we had the collars, and if people stole the dogs, you could track them? And I was like, they'll just take off the collars then when they steal the dogs.
Hmm.
And he's like, yeah, but I was like, and then his girlfriend who was there went, see, I told you. And I'm like, all right, bro, yeah. Like, I'm like, I was trying to be nice. I was like, it's not a bad idea because if it was, and I was like, well, and then I started being like a bit of an asshole, I guess, because I was like, here's the real problem. If you would need an app to go with it, then you would have to pay the app developer to make the app. Then you would also have to have a database that stores it all, and then you would probably have to have some sort of 4G thing in it so that it tracks it, which makes it way more expensive than a collar.
Hmm.
And he's like, but I wouldn't do that. I know a mate who codes, he'd do that. I'm like, uh-huh.
Slay.
Cool.
It's that simple.
Yeah, you're
Free
right, mate.
labor.
My bad. Your mate'll sorted. And I'm like, you know what? It's not the worst idea, but you would need the app to work with it so they could track the dogs. You'd find out where it is. And he's like, yeah, that's good. I'm like, it would be useless without that. If they just had a chip in a collar and not in them, then it's the same thing, but more expensive. And he's like, I know, but I think it'd be good. He just kept saying, like, I think it'd be good. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then we're just talking. He goes, you don't really see, he literally goes, you don't really seem like a person who really gives a shit. And I'm like,
damn, he has you clocked perfectly.
I was like, you're
That's
not
crazy.
wrong. Yeah, I was like, you're not completely wrong. I'm like, I just keep myself to myself, do whatever. And he's like, and his girlfriend goes, you're just like me then? I'm like, I guess. I don't know you. Like,
she said, damn, you just like me for real?
Yeah, she literally just like me for real. And he goes, but man, I just don't think you care about anyone. I'm like, what the fuck did this come from? And I'm like, no, I care about people. I just don't give a shit. Like, I don't guard them away. And he's like, right. He's like, I just like to know what people think and all. And I'm like, do you? That's good to know, man. And he's just going on and on and on. And then he's like, did you get the vaccine? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I didn't. I'm like, oh yeah. And he's like, do you like conspiracy theories? Out of nowhere. Bear in mind, I've already met this guy at this point for about 30 minutes, and he's talked to me about a business idea. Do I code? It clocked me as someone who doesn't give a shit about anything. And I tried to bite him. But then she liked him by the end. I think it's because he just came down on her, and she was like, "Rrr." I was like, "Chill, it's okay." So what ended up happening was he was like, "Do you care about conspiracy theories, no?" And he starts talking about all these things. And so I was like, I don't really care about them because of like, I cannot remember the guy's name, and I couldn't remember when he talked about it. Turn the Frogs gay guy. What's his fucking name?
Alex Jones.
I was like, that guy ruins it for me. Because even if he does say a good point, he fills his life up with so much utter bullshit that you cannot trust anything that he says. And I think that's generally the case with a lot of conspiracy theories. And he's like, I know, but they have good points, don't they? And I was like, yeah, no, but if you have one good point and 50 bad points, you're gonna, that's kind of how the averages work, my guy. So we talked about COVID, and he's like, do you think it was like a planned attack? And I was like,
pandemic.
Yeah, he literally pandemicked me, and I was like, I don't think it was on purpose. I think they were probably working on something. Didn't mean to spread it around the world. And he went, I'm like, okay, cool, man. And he's like, I was nice talking. I just like to hear what people think, He said, and then he took my phone number and was like, you smoke grass? I was like, Of course you smoke weed. And I was like, oh, I got work tomorrow. He's like, I'll call you sometime. We can come over and have a wee chat and all. And I was like, all right, man. Haven't heard from him. It's been 4 or 5 days. Clearly he doesn't give a shit. He seems like one of those people.
Right.
So yeah, I just had a full talk with him about conspiracy theories, all that there. He didn't even know who Alex Jones was. He's big into conspiracy theories. Didn't know who Alex Jones was.
Didn't know who the GOAT was?
Yeah, he doesn't know the GOAT. Clearly not. That's why I don't give a shit. I'm not talking to the amateurs. Not about that life. If you're going to talk to me about COVID conspiracies and don't know about the water turning the frogs gay, don't even.
Better come correct. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I did at fucking 3 a.m. on a Wednesday or some shit. I can't even remember what day it was, but it was just like the midweek Wednesday, 3 a.m. in the middle of my street. Anyone could have just opened the window and listened to a whole ass conversation about fucking COVID conspiracies. The vaccine doesn't work. And then I was like, well, bro, I've had COVID a few times and it was better after the vaccine. He goes, but you still got it? And I was like, yeah, but it wasn't as bad. That's the point. And he's like, but you still got it. And I've never had the vaccine and I didn't get it.
Damn.
I'm like, you know what? Fair play, brother, you got me. COVID was a pandemic. And because you believed, you were saved or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, he literally mind over mattered. He was like, I can't get COVID if I don't want COVID.
Yeah.
Literally the fucking, like, I do not give Mark Zuckerberg the right to charge me for Facebook.
Yeah, and he's like, well, shit, he got me. He got me. So yeah, and his girlfriend just spent the whole time going, he just comes up with some weird ideas. I don't like conspiracy theory. They're literally the opposite people, but they have like the same vibe. It was so strange. They were nice, don't get me wrong. It was a nice conversation, but it was just so strange. The guy turned his headlights off, though, for anyone wondering. I did mention that. The headlights were off. Day was saved.
Thank God.
And I learned a lot. about the people I live on my that live on my street. Bless their soul. I really wish Lioneagle was here.
Yeah.
No, not for you, Z. No offense to you, but there's a topic on our list that I really want to talk about, but I have no
I knew
idea.
that's exactly what you were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea who the fuck wrote it or what the fuck it means.
Well, I mean, if it wasn't us, it was obviously Lioneagle because he's the only person with access to the topic sheet.
No, but unless one of us wrote it and just went, what the fuck? And then just forgot about it. Like, so there's just a topic called Game Freak killed a group of children. If anyone wants to write in the comments why they think Game Freak killed a bunch of children, let us know until we find out from Lioneagle next week.
Yeah, that's your question for the day.
Question for the day. How did Game Freak kill a group of children? You have 10 seconds to like, subscribe, and comment.
Yeah, imagine shouting out that people should like and subscribe before we get to like fucking 2 hours deep into the podcast. Crazy.
Hey, we're not that far in. We're only 40 minutes in, so that's better than normal. We do. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Any weird or wonderful stories have happened? Oh, wait, did you get it? Wait, this is actually really important before you tell a story. Did porn laptop kid get a laptop?
Yes, he did.
Let's go!
Yeah, I noticed that whatever fucking like one of my current days, because I am with him Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and yeah, I noticed that he had a fucking laptop.
Let's
last
fucking
time I was
go.
there. It's like, God damn it. So.
You know, I actually watched back one of the podcasts, and I was listening. I was like, oh, I need to see.
Yeah.
I need to find out. I need an update.
Yeah, he keeps getting mad because I'm like hovering over him for obvious reasons. And he's like always like looking back at me, glaring as he's like trying to like hide his computer down. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
He's like, my tastes have changed, Vincent. Do they call you?
I go by teacher Vincent. Yeah, I go by teacher Vincent at work. So if someone calls me Vincent, I'm like, teacher Vincent. Fucking put some respect on the name.
Use my prefix, please. Is that a thing that's common in schools? Do they use first in America, or do they? Because like,
not really. I'm like the only one that goes by it in our building.
Fair.
But it's teacher Guthrie sounds gross.
It does, yeah. It really does.
Yeah.
No offense, but like, I can barely pronounce your surname. It doesn't fucking roll well off my tongue. I've tried to say it out loud before and went, like, when I get, and I was like, nope, can't do it. Sorry.
Yeah. There's a Guthrie Castle in Scotland. It's a wedding chapel.
Wow.
Yeah,
no, I'm not from there. I'm sure the Scottish can pronounce your name, no problem.
Imagine that's where Lioneagle's going.
Imagine he's in Castle Guthrie. He was trying to look up your Twitter page or whatever, typed in your surname somehow, and went, "Oh, Castle."
Yeah, so that's gonna be my wedding venue when I get married eventually. Once I find someone with marriage,
it's like the biggest fucking ego thing in the world. Yeah, I'm gonna get married in the castle named after me. Specifically me and nobody else from history. I don't even know where my surname comes from. It's not from Ireland or Northern Ireland or like the land of Ireland. The island is of Ireland even. Because there was a map I seen the other day. It was like, here are where all the surnames are from Ireland. That I looked at and I was like, fucking in here. I think it's an American Scottish name.
It's actually big in refrigeration, actually. Your surname is.
For real?
I don't know if we've leaked what it is on the
Vance.
podcast.
I don't care.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So in The Office, there's the Bob Vance Refrigeration.
my uncle.
Yeah. It's like every time I think of your name, I'm just like, that man does refrigerators.
I fucking wish we had a fucking big company or some shit. I don't think any of my relatives are involved in that. I'll tell you that much. The most successful member of my extremely extended Vance side of the family live in England and do something important over there. By important, I mean like a normal, well-paying, high-earning job. If you know what I mean.
Crazy.
Important than how you would consider a lawyer important, inverted commas.
All the men in my family do like mechanic work, like grandpa, dad, uncle, like all of them.
Yeah.
One of the uncles was an architect, and now he is jobless and has been failing to get a disability case going for like 6 years. I love that for him.
Yeah.
And then all
Or
the
his little
women.
fingy's gone. He can't draw anymore. Draw any more architectural sketches or whatever. I don't know what they do.
And then all the women did like social work for the government, and
I feel like
quit.
that's a common theme of the early working woman
Mm,
was social work in government because that's what my granny did.
mm.
She had she was a social worker, so like like I assume it has the same meaning in the UK as it does US. Like you'll go to
I
people's
would assume
houses
so.
and
Yeah,
like make sure they're not breaking the laws or doing like treat their children right or doing whatever they're supposed to be doing, like that kind of stuff.
yeah,
She did that, and then I don't know if she did hairdressing after or before, but at some point she was also a hairdresser.
slay. I'll say my grandmas, they did that until they retired. That's where they met, and they found their gay love together.
Love that.
Uh, yeah, and then my aunt, she quit slash got fired, not entirely sure, and now she works at J.C. Penney.
Yeah. So like both my grannies are both alive, are both very religious, and one of my favorite things is my dad is not religious at all, and what he'll do is if my granny ever does anything that's like once she said a swear word and he was like, Jesus does not like that. Don't you ever say that again, mother. And he just anytime she says something that's slightly like because she's quite right wing, let's put it that way, like a lot of old
Sure.
people are. And like she'll talk about like foreigners, or whatever. My dad will be like, "It does say in the Bible to love one's neighbor like oneself, or whatever." Like he'll just fucking start like any like niche Bible knowledge that he'll have will come out, and he'll be like, "That's not very Christianly, mother. I don't really think Jesus would agree with your take there." She just
Speaking
goes,
of
"Shut up, Simon. Shut up."
speaking of the Bible,
What about the Bible?
I don't know. Is there any Bible related topics we have to talk about here today, Curly?
Holy shit, we
Oh,
do.
we do.
What are the chances that I brought up the Bible? So yeah, the tier list this week is of the 12 apostles a la Jesus Christ.
Of course. Shout out once again, Judah Denos for custom making a tier list for
Ooh,
us to do. Ooh,
there's my Discord.
ooh.
Oh, I just have your one up first because it got here.
Sure. Yeah. So this is them ranked on if they slang dick or not.
Hmm.
Um,
Before we do this, how much knowledge do you have of the apostles a la Jesus Christ?
Man, I have so much knowledge of the apostles a la Jesus Christ. I definitely didn't call my friend in the pre-call to ask her opinions on the apostles and whether or not they slang dick.
Yeah, I was there for that conversation, and it was just like, I'm gonna ring my friend. They like used to know Jesus stuff, and I was like, okay, ask them about Jesus lore. And he literally, I feel like I was on one of those TV shows where like it's like you have to prank
Like the
call
prank
someone.
shows? Yeah.
And I was like, okay, ask about Jesus lore.
And I was like, hey bestie, I need some help on Jesus lore.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, yeah, like you were just repeating shit that I said. And I was like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, because she couldn't hear you because I have the headphones on.
Yeah,
But you could hear
exactly.
her because I was holding the phone up to the mic. So
So we didn't find out. There was only a few, from what I can tell from
there's
your
one
list.
that's for sure.
Yeah,
And that is Peter.
Peter. Yeah.
Peter slang dick, had a wife, potentially had a daughter. This is like canon, it's in the Bible. They reference his mother-in-law, and then it's like Saint Priscilla, I think, something like that, is potentially Peter's daughter.
Yeah, there was no
So like,
filler arc. There was no filler arc where he shagged. It was all canon.
yeah. And then she was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure like a lot of the disciples did have like some honeys, but they spent most of their time talking about their experiences with Jesus and the following of their faith. They didn't really like talk about themselves that much. So there's like not much known about the apostles themselves. But that being said, she said that the other two I have up there, Matthew and John, I believe, are the two that we have up there.
I don't think, yeah, it's Matthew and John. I don't think she said
Yeah.
anything about John. I think I just said John definitely slings dick.
No, she said Matthew and John, I promise you.
Oh, okay, fair. I just remember looking at John and thinking, if I had to fuck any of these people, it would probably be John.
Mm.
Or Jesus, but
Yeah.
he's not here, so it is
True.
what it is.
But yeah, so we she said they have the vibes like they slang dick. So That's what
Yeah.
he put there. I almost called a like further religious expert, but I felt like he would have been like offended at the prospect of what we're doing, and
Yeah,
so I just didn't want to get into that.
let's actually just call the actual expert. If you want to put your hands together right now, we will.
Dear Heavenly Father,
Dear Heavenly Father, who slung the most sticks out of the 12 apostles? And can you ask them, please, if they're up there? Amen.
Yeah, so I went to Google. I was like, which of Jesus' disciples slang dick? And not a lot came up.
Crazy.
But
That's crazy.
yeah, I know. But then I was like, which of Jesus' disciples had children? And to which they were like, hey, Peter. And then I was like, all right, but which one of them were just married? To which they were like, hey, Peter. And I was like, all right, fine.
Yeah, they were.
So,
from what your friend said, Jesus had a bit of, Starboy fucking energy, main character syndrome, and disciples just didn't really get a backstory. It was all about Jesus, and all they did was talk about Jesus as if he was really important or some shit. Crazy. Yeah, that's what she said. Basically,
sorry.
Right?
I got sent a meme in the middle of doing a bit.
Yeah, Jesus pretty much, like, they didn't get much of it fleshed out other than, like, the ones that were early. Because I think, was Peter kind of early? He must have been. I feel like I
Peter's
know him.
like book 1, isn't he?
Yeah. It's like they got bored right in the rest of them. That they were like, they put all the backstory into Peter and went, fuck, we got 11 more of these fuckers to do. Let's just say they existed like Jesus. I did also want to point out that all of them, bar the 2 Judases that apparently have like the most normal ass names in the world. I know they're normal ass because they're biblical names and we took them for the Bible and that's why everyone has names like these. But like, did it not take place in like fucking, like, what, Israel and shit? Like, where was Jesus? Where the fuck's Bethlehem? Like, where the fuck is that? Who the fuck in Bethlehem's called Simon? Or Peter? Or Matthew? You know what I mean? Yeah? No?
Yeah.
What's the most, like, it was around that area, wasn't it? Allegedly, because they don't really know. Because, well, except when he was in America, everyone forgets about the filler arc when he was in America and he hid those tablets. Yeah. That didn't make the Bible, but apparently it happened. Non-canon maybe for some, but canon for others. It's really debated within the community.
It's a canon event. You can go check out the Jesus verse.
Jesus wiki, Jesus.wiki or whatever. I don't fucking know. So yeah, all the rest of them are just L's plus ratio plus virgin. So easy collab.
Yeah. Although I will say, fucking Judas Icarius. Shout out. He should be top of L plus ratio.
Iscariot. Iscariot. The actual Judas that you know and hate. So I did mine. So I don't really know anything about the disciples. I thought I knew more about them until I tried to look up about them. So I went purely on vibes. Who's the homiest with Jesus?
Sure.
So Simon and Peter were the ones that I'm like aware of. Did not realize
Simon actually.
Yeah, Simon and Simon. I like how they were like, nah, brother, you gotta go by Peter. We already got a Simon. Simon is also my middle name and the name of my father, so that helps also.
Ooh.
Very
scholarly.
What does zealot mean?
Just like being super religious usually.
Cringe.
Yeah.
But it can be like super smart or some shit, but no, it just means being a religious. Should they all not be zealots then, by like realistically, except Judas?
So it's like I guess in like a modern context, when you think of like a religious zealot, they're like extremists almost.
Oh, okay, like those monks that like don't move for like 6 years and somehow live.
Kinda, but like usually nowadays, it's like we would consider like the Taliban to be like religious zealots.
Yeah, they make a reoccurrence on another episode. I love that. So, like, another group that has 3 letters that are all the same would also be considered that in a way.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. I didn't say it. That's how you get around it. I don't know what it is. James and John, I am familiar with. Semi. So I was like, they're decent homies, but I think like Simon and Peter were the homies. You know what I mean? They were the OGs. James, son of Zebedee. James is just a common ass name.
Son of Zebedee, Dabudai.
Zebedee, Dabudai. And if he was blue or whatever, he would die or some shit. I can't remember the words. Everyone's called James, and I know a lot of Matthews. So that was kind of my vibe. I think that the people that I know the most of, and the names that I know the most of, like, they must have been closer to Jesus, right? That's how it works. You don't want to be named fucking Matthias, who's near the bottom there, because he's got a sussy name. You don't know. Do you know many Matthiases?
Not that I can think of, honestly.
Exactly. So he mustn't have been a good homie with Jesus by default. In terms of meh, I know a few Nathans. I know a Thomas, Philip, Cringe. I don't know what it is. The name Philip just doesn't give good vibes.
One of my best friends' name is Philip.
Well, let him
you
know.
wrote a skit together with him.
Yeah, well, let him know. He's on the meh tier of names. Damn. Andrew. I know a lot of Andrews.
Yeah.
But the problem is, 90% of them are complete cunts.
Not the fact is that none of them can hold a fucking candle to Andy Tate.
Also that. I didn't even think of Andy Tate. This is the OG Andy Tate. He's even got the bald ass head to go with it. This is what he inspired his whole life on. The teachings of Andrew from the Bible. That's what Hustlers University actually is. It's just whatever fucking book Andrew shows up in. All his like phrases. Judas Thaddeus, whatever the fuck his name is. He's in Sussy just because his name is Judas. I'm sorry, brother. I know there's no
see, this proves that you know nothing about the Bible, because like Jesus and Judas were like homies. That's why he was close enough to be able to betray him the way he was, because they were like fucking like touching dicks. He was like,
yeah, but Judas, current lore, they're not homies.
Correct. But it's literally like it's like Brutus and Caesar thing. It's like the only one who can betray you is someone who's so close to you. So
that's why Lioneagle's not here.
So true.
And then obviously the OG Judas is just in his own tier because, you know, the crucifixion bit, you know, the bit about the crucifixion. I don't know if you know that bit of the Bible, but Jesus dies. Spoilers.
What?
Spoilers.
Curly,
yeah.
I was reading that.
Yeah, you've had 2023 years or whatever to read it, and if you haven't caught up now, Jesus dies. But don't worry, even bigger spoilers. Big Dog comes back.
Fucking One Piece fans, I swear to God. Thanks that everyone has the time to fucking stay up to date.
Oh, one sec. Do you want me to just spoil all of One Piece as well while we're at it?
Yeah, this is actually the One Piece episode.
Yeah, oh God. If there's ever a moment where none of you are here and we have a podcast to record, I'm going to do a whole One Piece episode, just me staring directly into the camera talking about One Piece for 6 hours. And it'd actually just be a tier list of all the characters. That'll be the whole episode. Every single character to ever show up in One Piece. So yeah. There's also another tier list that we have. Lioneagle was maybe gonna be here if we had recorded it when we said we were going to, but didn't. So made a tier list. And we feel like if we're gonna do it and Lioneagle has made one, it's also pretty straightforward what it is. We'll do this on his behalf.
Yeah. So up at the top, we have the King of Riz with the photoshopped sunglasses.
Yeah, that shit, let's go. I didn't think of that. That's so true. I'm based. King of Riz. Yeah, no, I think we all put respect on Peter's name.
Yeah.
On Peter. No, Simon gets a bit of respect, but Peter seems like the GOAT. We could be wrong. Peter could have been a massive racist. Probably was. But we don't know.
He was old and white, so you know.
Yeah, so there's a but with those sunglasses, everything's black, so he doesn't see color. Wicked.
Simon Peter, literally too cool for school.
It's so based. Then what? The ladies love a bad boy. He's got Judas. He's got Judas at the top. You know what? I reckon when he turned in Jesus, he probably did get all the bitches. He got the money for it, so he's fucking minted. He probably went to Bethlehem's hottest strip club or whatever. I don't know. Bethlehem's the only place I can remember the name of, and that's the only place that's ever going to come up. Him and Zacchaeus, another person from the Bible. That's another name I know. Probably took all of their fucking money and went to the sickest strip club of all time.
Yeah, he went to Sodom and just started fucking it up.
Oh, yeah. At Sodom?
Yeah.
I wonder what he did there. Not very biblical, I would say. Jesus probably would not agree. Zacchaeus.
Well, actually, I don't know if you know, that's like a loophole that girls use nowadays to get around having sex.
Yeah. But
She's still a virgin in the eyes of the Lord, because
I think I
stuff
told
doesn't count apparently.
Yeah, I think I told this story on the podcast before about so we have Scripture Union, which is basically like kid church in school, right?
Sure.
It's like a club, like an extracurricular Jesus. And there was another school that had one, and the leader of their Scripture Union had a boyfriend who was not in the Scripture Union and was just like, yo, can we fucking just fuck or whatever? She was like, no, Jesus doesn't like it. And he basically convinced her. He like did the lore, looked up the research, and went, yeah, but in the ass though. And that got out like wildfire, and I don't think she's religious anymore. So you know what? Fair play. Bad loophole, but hey, a win to win, I guess. The next tier, well, we also had Simon in Ladies Love a Bad Boy. I don't really know Simon the Zealot would be considered a bad boy.
But I know Simon the Scholar is a bad boy. So.
Simon, yeah, let's go. Actual nice guys, Philip, Thomas, and the other Judas, controversially. Name also Judas, so by default must be bad.
I hate you so much. Man is guilty by association.
Yeah, that's kind of how it be, sorry. And then my favorite part about this is that Lioneagle has another tier called r/nice guys. Where you got Andrew, James, other James. I didn't even acknowledge the other James. I didn't even realize there was two Jameses.
Yeah, he's the son of Alpheus, you fucking idiot.
Oh, fuck, I should have known. And who is Alpheus?
True. He actually works on an animal sanctuary, kind of base.
Yeah, exactly. What actually put him in actual nice guys, Lioneagle, what the hell? Then Matthias, and then in Origins of the Manosphere, I don't know what that means.
Like they created like the fucking like alpha male.
Oh, like alpha male culture kind of shit. Okay.
Yeah, the original Sigmas, if you will.
Yeah, because when I heard of Manosphere, for some reason, the first thing that came into my head was the Game Sphere from Drake and Josh. Do you know what I'm fucking talking about?
Crazy, because the first thought I had was the bathysphere from Bioshock 1.
It's spherical. He's got Nathan, John, and Matthew. The goat.
The goats.
Well, apparently not.
John, also son of Zebedee, Zabadai.
Oh shit, you're right. They're brothers. John and James, very creative. They went, okay, this one's gonna be James. This one's gonna be
John Jacob.
Oh my god, his name is also my name. Believe it or not. Is that like an actual common song, or did everyone just hear that from Recess?
Yeah, it's like a kid thing. Like no one fucking sings that shit as an adult, because why would you?
Yeah, no, but like,
are you fucking hitting up with the London Bridge is falling down in your fucking 20s, Curly?
Yeah, I'm fucking ring a rosies, a pocket full of posies.
Ashes, we all fall down.
It's a sneeze or some shit. It's some sort of sneeze that we all fall down. That song, crazy morbid for what it is. I didn't like. It's one of those sort of things where when you're a kid, you're like, oh yay, going dancing or whatever, roses, and you're like, oh yeah, it's because they use them to fucking hide the smell of the dead bodies during the Black Plague or whatever. And the whole sneeze, we all fall down, is because you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
But let's make a little nice song about it. Let's go.
Yeah. So with ours, it's the ashes, we all fall down. It's because they had to cremate the bodies to like try and stop the spread of illness.
I think we had a tissue. We all fall down like you're sneezing.
Mm.
I think that's what it was. Bear in mind, I have not sung that song since I was like 8, so my memory could be wrong. What other is there any other really Humpty? What was the crack with Humpty Dumpty? I know he fell off the wall and he had a good fall.
I am right here.
If I still had that image, I'd put it up right now, but I think I might have deleted it.
That's unfortunate.
You know, is there like an allegory? Is that the word I'm looking for Humpty Dumpty? Like, what's his deal?
I don't know.
One sec. Let's look it up. Because like there must be what
Humpty Dumpty's deal.
What's the meaning behind Humpty Dumpty? According to the Oxford Dictionary, in the 17th century, the term Humpty Dumpty referred to drinking a brandy boiled with ale. The riddle probably exploited the misdirection. The fact that Humpty Dumpty was also 18th century, but that doesn't help. So wait, is it just saying Humpty Dumpty was mega drunk? Is that what it means? Some historians believe Humpty Dumpty was simply a device for a riddle for breakable things. Others suggest that Humpty Dumpty is King Richard III of England, who was supposed to have been humpbacked, and who was defeated in the Battle of Bosworth Field in 1485, not 19 anything. What other Itsy Bitsy Spider? There can't. What? 1 sec. Itsy Bitsy Spider. What's the?
Well, that's just a story about perseverance. Like if you go, it's literally I get knocked down and I get up again. You ain't never gonna keep me down. It's literally Itsy Bitsy Spider. They're the same song.
I disagree. What are
you can't tell me that the Itsy Bitsy Spider wasn't piss drunk going up that spout. Why he keep falling down then? The rain. How many times is it gonna fucking rain in one day? You fucking idiot. It's not raining every fucking day.
Yeah. You don't live here. You don't know.
That's true. I forgot. You do live where it rains every fucking day.
What the fuck is Goosey Goosey Gander?
Goosey Goosey Gander. Talk a bit of slander.
Say another no. Goosey Goosey Gander. Whither shall I wander? Upstairs and downstairs, and in my lady's chamber. Then I met an old man who wouldn't say his prayers, so I took him by his left leg and threw him down the stairs. So apparently, this is. Because I was like, I've never heard of this, and I was looking up dark meanings for kids things. Apparently, sure. Lucy Lockett is about an 18th century prostitute, and it's just about her going upstairs with someone to fuck, and he didn't have enough money to fuck, so he fucks her out. And they let kids sing that. You know what I mean? What? What other? Do you have any nursery rhymes you can remember as a kid that were kind of I just remember Itsy Bitsy and Ring Around the Rosies and
there's Old Mother Hubbard.
Old Mother Hubbard. What the fuck was she doing?
She went to the cupboard to get her poor dog a bone, but when she got there, the cupboard was bare, and boy, could that old lady roll or some shit like that.
Wait, so does the dog kill her?
I don't know.
And so the poor dog had none.
Oh, okay.
Old Mother Hubbard, the rhyme allegedly refers to Cardinal Thomas Wolsey and his unsuccessful attempt to give an annulment to King Henry VIII.
Annulment, excuse you.
Annulment, brother, that's hard. The
cupboard. He's trying to annul a marriage because that was the King Henry VIII thing.
The cupboard is the Catholic Church. It all makes sense now. And the dog is King Henry. It all makes sense. God, these are way too smart for my brain. You know what isn't too smart for my brain? The end of the Tier Above podcast. Turn my brain off and it will be over.
Based. He's so based.
Yeah. Once again, comment, subscribe. If you comment your favorite, what was it? What were we commenting again? Some shit about.
1, why do you think Game Freak killed a bunch of children?
Yes.
2, leave us your favorite conspiracy theory. 3, which disciple slung the most dick? That's not Peter. Peter's the cheat answer.
And 4, tell Lioneagle to get back into his dungeon because he might escape.
True. If you see him out wandering around, you are allowed to shoot on sight. Bye. Bye.
Wanted only dead.